you planning a trip and you're a little bit worried about where to eat when you're traveling? In this video, I am going to share with you my top tips on where to eat wherever you are. When I travel, my Achilles heel was always not knowing where to eat. I would always second guess myself. There was always so much choice, and I didn't want to choose wrong. My worry was that I was going to go to places and I would get crappy food and then pay a lot of money. So if you're anything like me, these tips are going to help you out so much because I now plan my trips very differently around food and being able to have some places to fall back on and understand where to go, what to actually eat in a place, and be able to have that security of, okay, I have some places written down. In my research and everything, this is how I go about looking for food. The first one I do is I search on Instagram. Let's pretend that I am going to be going on a trip to Paris. So what I will do, I'll use search terms in the search bar on Instagram with Paris food. And I will use that with and without hashtags. So stuff will come up for both of them. And I just click on the ones that look good to me and I scroll through their feeds. And they'll usually have the place tagged or they'll talk about it in the written section. So it's going to be somewhere on there. If it's not, you just scroll to the next one. So I find a lot of places through Instagram. Now you can also, I also search for tags like I would say Paris street food and see what comes up. So I'm always searching for street food. So I always type that into my searches to see what is available and if there is nothing available. Next, I do a search on YouTube. Now on YouTube, I do searches with search terms like what to eat in Paris or where to eat in Paris. I keep a running tab just in a Google Doc of all the places that I like and that I find from all of these search. I usually put a link to it. I'll look up the menus, see if it's something that I like, see if it's a price point that I like, and then I'll put that link in my Google Doc. Next I do is I go to Facebook groups. Facebook groups are amazing. So you want to search for Facebook groups that are the cities that you're going to. So I will look up Paris Facebook groups. Now, all I do is I type in Paris into the search bar. I go down to groups. So it just shows you the groups. And then I look at the ones that have something that's going to be touristy involved or expat involved, and then I request to join those groups. Once you are in those groups, you want to go to their search bar in the group and just type in food or restaurants or something along those lines and see what posts have been talked about regarding those keywords. You can also write a post and ask for suggestions. Next, you want to ask your friends and people on your social media channels what they have to suggest. So I will either do a story on Instagram, Facebook, and say, you know, I'm going to Paris. I would love to hear your suggestions on what I should eat or which restaurants you would recommend me trying out. You can also write a post. You can do a little video. Next, I will also just do a Google search on things to eat in Paris. And I will look through blogs. A lot of travel blogs have food posts. So you want to take a look at those as well and then just write them down. Now, when you are going through these types of recommendations, you want to double check and look up that location and that restaurant on the internet first. Because of the pandemic, I have been doing this for my upcoming trip and a lot of places have permanently closed, unfortunately. So you want to just make sure that these places are still there. Lastly, the thing I do when I'm actually traveling in the place is that I ask everyone that I meet what their recommendations are. So I ask them to write down, either I have a pen and paper that they write down, or I find even better is I just hand them over my phone into the notes section and get them to type it out. Because sometimes when I give them the pen and paper, I can't read their writing. But at least with the typing out, you'll be able to read it And instead of you typing it out, you may spell it wrong, or you may not know how to spell it. So this way they're going to be able to spell it for you, and you're going to be able to look that up a lot easier. Now, when you are asking them what their suggestions are, don't just keep it to what restaurant should I go to. Ask them, what's the best cafe that you've been to? What's the best croissant that you've had? You know, ask them different questions. What's the best food that you've had here? Where would you recommend me trying some food? So ask them different questions than just what the restaurants are. The one thing that you do have to just kind of little remember in the back of your head is when you're asking your hotel. So when you ask your hotel, you got to phrase it in a way because a lot of them do have kind of like alliances with other restaurants that they're going to send all their patrons to. So it's not necessarily the restaurant that they would go eat, not always the best advice. So instead of saying, you know, I'm looking for this type of restaurant, what would you recommend? Ask them instead, say, where do you eat when you go out for lunch, or where do you eat when you go out for dinner? And then just be very specific on the type of information and the type of restaurant that you're wanting. That way you're going to get a lot better information. I hope these tips have helped you out in figuring out where to eat on your travels. I know they've helped me out immensely, and I am so less anxiety ridden when I'm in the different countries of where to eat. Now, if you have any questions, please put them down below. I would love to answer those for you. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe to my channel. I talk everything travel and photography. Now, if you have anything else, just let me know, reach out. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.